Najlepše hvala gospodinu Aleksandru Vlahoviću. Mastercard je od 2016. godine partner Kopaonik Biznis foruma, najznačajnijeg konferencijskog događaja u zemlji i regionu. Saradnja sa Savezom ekonomista Srbija je otpočela 2016. godine i traje više od 10 godina. U ime kompanije Mastercard obratit će se gospodin Mateo Piccolo, izvršni potpredsjednik Mastercard Services Europe. Izvolite.
Thank you. Distinguished representative of the government of the Republic of Serbia, Your Excellencies, dear Governor, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and partners, dobar dan. I hope I pronounce it correctly, and apologies for my Italian accent and for my very limited vocabulary in Serbian. But I'm improving. Thank you for having me here. It's really a pleasure to be on this stage. We are at the 11th year of the partnership of Mastercard with the Kopaonik Business Forum, and I'm really pleased to be here on this stage today to share with you about how payments are evolving and which are the key trends that we are observing both at the regional and at global level. The world has changed, and we realize it. In the last few years, obviously, new technology are reshaping a bit the way in which we have seen the business in the recent years. Artificial intelligence, payment have been obviously impacted, and sometimes it's difficult to keep the pace with this innovation. It's difficult to understand which investment to take, both at the public and the private sector. And we are observing payment becoming a bit more personalized, more predictive, but also more interoperable. Interoperability is a concept that you'll be hearing from me more than one time in this 20-minute speech, and this is very, very important. Setting up the infrastructure, building on the new standard, and working on interoperability is key. If you have to summarize with one single headline where we are today, we can say we are entering in a world where commerce can be automated, but trust must be engineered. And trust is all around making sure that every citizen, every business, and every consumer can feel comfortable in accessing the payment environment. We are going to share today 6 payment trends, and we go through some of them in a more quick way. So the first 5, crypto, digital identity, circular economy, the personalized payment, and instant economy. We'll go through them in few slides, and then we spend a bit more time on agentic. Agentic is definitely reshaping the way in which we are looking at this business, and we want to spend a bit more time on it. But let's go one by one. Crypto. The story has been very innovative for the last 10 years, but crypto has been taken primarily for investment. The big question has always been if crypto can be used for the real economy. We believe that the launch of the stable coins, which are crypto pegged to fiat or to government currency, can bridge the gap. So we are expecting definitely greater collaboration within the ecosystem players to make easier and safer to move money with stable coins. So this is something that will raise in 2026. Moving on to the second topic, digital identity. And I know this is something you in Serbia are pretty familiar with your EU Prava portal. With the e-commerce growing fastly and the digital economy becoming more relevant, proving who we are and who we are interacting with is paramount. A Mastercard research shows that 80% of the global consumers were targets of a scam attempt in the last 12 months. So what we are seeing will be crucial, and we believe will be happening this year, is that we'll have more robust identity verification tools to make easier and faster to demonstrate who we are and to be capable to be recognized in the digital economy environment. And similarly, we believe that digital identity wallet will also grow fast to access to government services, but also to financial services. And this will be the key change in the near future. It's also very important to consider digital identity within the payment space, because tokenization is the foundation of all the future development that we'll be seeing in the payment environment. Circular economy. So this is something not really new. Let's say it started up a bit before COVID, and then with COVID slowed down a bit, and then it picked up again. circular economy is all about reuse, resale, and repair. An interesting stat shows that more than 27% of the online apparel spend in the US was done at circular fashion merchants. And this is an astonishing number. So why this is important for the payment industry? Why is it important for us? Because we have to make sure that we can equip this payment with the ability to manage in an easy way the peer-to-peer transaction as well as the microtransaction. So there is an opportunity here for us to do better, both at the European level and at the global level, but this is definitely a trend that we are seeing coming and moving relatively fast. Personalized payment, I was anticipating at the beginning. Obviously, we are going to have more tailored offer for our consumer, but personalized payment is more than that. It's also about leveraging the huge amount of data that we have, billions of transactions that we can process in obviously a privacy compliant manner, to be capable to manage all this information to send to our consumer and to our customer more tailored offer and more important offers and benefits. We are expecting this to be growing even more in the next few years. We are already seeing this happening, and artificial intelligence will definitely accelerate this trend and these opportunities in the short term. Last but not least is instant economy. I know this is an important topic also here in Serbia with your ISP. When we talk about instant economy, we refer to mainly two things. The first one is moving payment as fast as possible, so making sure that we can allow our consumers to make the payment as fast as possible. And the second part is making sure that the money can move quickly into the pocket of the consumer or the businesses. On the left side of this chart, you see more the part connected with payment, with making the payment fast. The payment at checkout in store is obviously now super fast, no? Because of the payment wallet, you can go there with biometrics, you can make payment in a very fast way. But when it comes to online, tokenization will allow us to make the next step. As MasterCard, we also announced that by 2030, all transactions will be tokenized, and we're going to get, in a way, rid by the need of inserting the 16-digit PAN when we pay online. This will be another step in this direction. But when it comes to making sure that we can provide the money in the pocket of the merchants or in the pocket of the consumers, now there are technologies that can clear in real time and settle payment the very same day. We're also investing from the MasterCard standpoint on it. And we all know how it's important from the cash flow of the SMB to make sure that this payment can happen quickly. And there is a big opportunity at the same time on the cross-border space and on the remittances. This is a huge amount of flows moving in and out from countries. Being capable to capture this flow is definitely super important. So these were more or less the 5 payment trends that we wanted to share quickly with you, but we want to spend a bit more time going through the agentic piece. So agentic is coming up, is really shifting the way in which we are looking at the business. And agentic is nothing more than having someone else performing simple or complex tasks on our behalf. And the agent will be doing exactly that. We'll be covering quickly what is agentic, and then we go a bit more into the details of the agentic commerce business. The key change versus what we are seeing today is that agent will be performing actions end-to-end. It's not just answering one of our questions. And they will be capable to do that thanks to natural language interaction, and they will be also capable to interact with other apps and systems. So agentic AI will really shift the way in which we are looking at the business. And as I said, the big difference versus what we have today is that agents won't simply provide an outcome. They're an output. Agents will provide an outcome, which is one step ahead. And they will do that in a complete autonomous way, and it's completely different from the automation that we have today, which is hard-coded into the system. Output, autonomy, and the last point is dynamic. So they will be capable to be adaptive and react to the environment around us. I know it seems to be futuristic, but it's happening. It's happening around us. Many big businesses are already investing on it. 90% of the Fortune 500 companies are already working on the AI agents. A lot of it so far was primarily in improving internal processes, but there is definitely the opportunity to move one step ahead. And we expect that by 2030, 1/3 of the e-commerce transaction will be done through agents. So it's a massive shift compared to impact on where we are today, and agentic will change the life of each of us, both in the business and in the consumer space. So we are highlighting here a few examples on what does it mean having agents acting on our behalf. Obviously, today you can schedule a meeting. You can ask even Copilot to help you scheduling a meeting. What we are expecting in 2030 is that agent will be capable to do one step forward in this direction. They will be capable to really look into our agenda, understand if there is an opportunity to meet with one of our friends because he is in town maybe, and then schedule a meeting with this person, maybe also booking the restaurant. This is not something that will happen in 50 years, but we believe by 2030 these things will be possible. Similarly, on a more simple case, many of you today are maybe using some of the tools like ChatGPT to ask for the quote of a flight. What we are expecting in the future with the agent is that they will be capable to make, also in this case, one step further, and they will be capable to do really the travel planning on our behalf, anticipating also maybe our needs. We have one more example to share here, and this is in the financial planning. Today, obviously, we know what's the bank balance, and we can ask potentially an agent to check on it. But what we are expecting in the future is maybe an agent that, at his discretion, will move some of our funds from a bank account into a saving account because we can earn some money thanks to that. And as I said, this is not something that we believe will be happening in 100 years. We are seeing an acceleration, and most likely, if I would have had this presentation 6 months ago, I wouldn't have shared these things. But really, the acceleration is coming up, and we are seeing a lot of changes in the short term. Obviously, we highlighted here primarily consumer cases, but we can do the same looking at B2B. There are some potential cases applied to the B2B space in the procurement. I don't want to go too much into these details, but the same could happen in financial planning and controls, where we can really leverage the power of the agent AI to have a strong support, for example, on the FX management. So this is a world around us that is evolving, and I wanted to make this quick intro just to anticipate the next click, which is what is the agentic commerce. Agentic commerce is really making another step versus this stuff I just shared. Is agent really completing end-to-end the payment on our behalf? And as I said, this will make another step ahead, because obviously this will include the fact that someone is touching on our money, and obviously this needs to do on our behalf only under the authorization that we can do for them. But this is really reshaping the way in which we believe commerce will evolve in the near term. The agent is not just understanding what we want, but as I said, will completely perform entire transaction and the entire task end-to-end. We'll interpret our need, we'll check on pricing, we'll check all policies, and then we'll make the final step. And the point that is today very difficult to maybe think about, but this will be happening, is the ability of the AI agent to connect with other tools through APIs. And this is why the investment that many corporations are doing in this space will make the difference. As I've done for the previous case, a simple example here on how an AI agent can operate in the commerce space is the one highlighted in this page. So we can ask the agent to make a purchase for us. He can check into the website. He understands what we liked because he knows from the past. He can search the product. He can compare the pricing. He can check stock availability. He can potentially also check on the return policy for a specific product. And then he will be completing the purchase on our behalf, obviously under certain conditions, having spending caps, having approval rules defined. Through identity and through tokenization, he can make the final step. As I said, this is not too far away. Obviously, as MasterCard, we are working on it, and I'll share with you what we are doing these days with a short video.
AI agents are everywhere. Consumers are increasingly using AI to shop, book, and buy everything. But across the payment ecosystem, there's a big risk that payments are happening in the dark. No visibility, no personalization, no chain of trust. MasterCard Agent Pay changes that. We verify agents, tokenize every transaction, authenticate every step. And we standardize how agents and merchants connect, so nothing gets lost in translation. Consumer intent and consent? Captured and verified. Now, planning a birthday party doesn't require 20 open tabs. One prompt, and Agent Pay takes it from there, delivering smart, secure payments, powered by trust and visibility. Because life works better when payments simply work. That's innovation at the speed of life. Built for trust, designed for scale. MasterCard Agent Pay. Powering the next frontier of commerce.
So with the perfect timing with the Copaonic Forum, MasterCard is announcing today, together with Santander, that we have completed the first live end-to-end transaction, payment transaction done by an AI agent. This is something that we're going to announce soon. It wasn't prepared with the Copaonic Forum, but it's perfect timing. So in this environment, what do we need to do? And I think this is the most important thing, and goes back to the point I said before about the interoperability and the need to build the trust. So we need to make sure that there is a proper know your agent, as we do today, the KYC and the KYB. Register and verify the agents under a clear governance and framework, otherwise it will be very risky to operate. Empower users with the consent and control through biometrics, and this goes back to the passkeys that I was mentioning before, and the tokenization as the foundation layer to make this happening. Defining clear standards, and last but not least, making sure that there is an order intent when the agent is operating. But all these things are happening, are becoming live. So we need to be prepared. When it comes to the adoption, where do you believe we are at this point? We are in a prototyping phase. The one we announced today and many others, in my view, will be happening in the next year or so. In the 2027-2030 period, we'll expect that the ecosystem will be properly built up, and by 2030, we believe that the agentic commerce will become completely live, and we expect a huge acceleration. As I said, 6-8 months ago, we were really far from it, but the world is moving really fast, and we have to be ready to manage. Obviously, when these big disruptions are coming up, there are always some risks and obviously opportunities. I want to spend really 2 minutes on the risk more than the opportunity. Opportunities, in my view, are clear, but the risk piece is something that we have to manage carefully. Obviously, the loss of brand influence and the risk of being disintermediated by the agents is a very important topic. Today, there is a huge investment also in marketing and communication, obviously, to make sure that our brand is known, is recognized, our products are top of mind for our consumers. SEO marketing, it's something that search engine optimization, it's something that many companies are investing on. Obviously, agentic will change a bit the model. In fact, we are discussing already about generative engine optimization, which will completely shift the way in which we are also setting up our website, we are interacting with our consumers, so there are many implications. And directly connected to that, there is also the risk of losing a bit the connection with the cardholder and with the customer in general. So the risk of customer relationship a bit lost is there. And this is why we have to make sure that issuers, banks, and in general, all the players in the market will be ready to manage the interaction with the consumer in a different way. Last but not least, which is maybe more relevant and more interesting for also all of us, is that there will be an increased complexity in fraud, chargeback, and in general, dispute management and operation in the system. This is something that we are working on. This is something that we can help you with, but in general, this is something that we have to seriously look into. So, as I said, this is happening. This is around us, and we strongly believe that out of the 6 payment trends, this will be the one that can really make the shift in the near future. As I said at the beginning, all these things, agentic is one of them, but new payments, technology, obviously it's a lot. And we believe that the winners in this situation will be the ones that will be capable to, as I said, build the trust with the consumer, being capable to work and set up an interoperable environment where all these things can happen in a transparent way and in a safe and secure way. With that, thank you for your time, thank you for your attention and your patience, and enjoy the rest of the forum. Do videnia.